Welcome to Soul Talk. I'm your wonderful host, Alena Chapman, and I have my co-host, Melinda Engel, and we are the angel and the instigator, and you get to guess who. But today we have a wonderful topic that needs to be discussed, which is not often discussed in the spiritual realm. You know, we're always activating our kundalini, which is wonderful. Done that several times in my past, in my evolution. And we always talk about taking the higher ground. I talk about that too. You know that. That's the angel and instigator. But let's start talking about not just boundaries, but being brave. Okay?
Yeah.
We're going to start being brave. What does that mean? It means everything. It means being brave in your relationships. It's being brave with yourself. It's trusting that what you want is what you want, and you are strong enough, brave enough to say it. And you don't have to be like a rock, coming down the mountain, smashing everything. No, just in a nice way, stating what you want.
Bravery to me is more of an action than anything, because it's like you can have a fear of something and you can let it do whatever it does to you, but being brave is like doing it despite being scared of it.
And what are you scared of? Why wouldn't you do? Why wouldn't you say what you want to say?
I think there's lots of reasons that people don't always say what's on their mind or say how they feel. Mm-hmm. They're afraid of rejection or how the other person's going to feel or who it might affect.
I see what you're saying. It's a fine line. I know that people get to this in spirituality, you always get to this level. There's levels of evolution, of transformation, right? And I love it when people get to the one where they figure out that I'm not responsible for your actions.
Correct. Or feelings.
Yeah, or feelings. So then, and it's an incredible freeing, right? Because we're always scared about the other person's feelings.
Right.
And so that all of a sudden they're like a freaking, they're like a massive rock falling on top of everyone. Oh, it's not my responsibility how you feel. Even though I'm giving you the worst news of your whole freaking life.
Right.
But that is not right. So
correct.
They never get to the part, and a lot of them don't get to the part of the transformation of actually understanding. That's the next one. That's the next one in your transformation. It is a higher understanding that no, I am not responsible for your happiness, but I am responsible for how I present it. I love you for who you are as a person, as a spirit. I am not going to try to hurt you, but I'm also going to keep my boundary.
Right.
So we don't come in like a big giant bomb, right?
Yeah, there's tons of ways to be respectful and be empathetic to someone. It is not your it's not your problem to manage how others feel, but it's your responsibility when it comes to you making that person feel whatever way that may be, I think.
It's up to you to have at least the understanding that you can be nice.
Because it's like...
And then how they take it, if it has to be heard, if it's hard, you can be very nice and deliver it nicely, but you still have to be brave and state it. We've gotten into like a society of especially in dating, where we don't tell the person what we like or dislike.
Yeah. Or we wait until we're encountered with something we don't like multiple times, and then you're like, I hate this.
Yeah, and then you get so you just clench up.
And they're like, I've done this the whole time. And
yes.
You're like, yeah, and I should have said something, but I didn't because I didn't want to make anybody uncomfortable.
Or whatever, or you thought it might be normal, and why you didn't like it, you didn't know. Whatever it is, but yeah, that's a big giant scenario. And women, I think, do it. I don't know. Women, I think, put up with a lot that they shouldn't.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's because we want them to like us, and we don't want to make waves. I hear that all the time.
I do. The instigator does, and she will forever.
Yep, you will make waves.
Just ask anyone who knows them.
Yeah. Well, she will make. Well, but we need to be more like that, or at least stay.
Do we though? Because men really hate it. I bring a certain I don't want to talk to you anymore to the table.
Okay.
They're like, oh, this bitch is holding me accountable. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, there's gotta be, okay, as an angel and an instigator, we need to find a middle road. We don't want to be, oh, but I just don't know how to say this, and is it really important in my spiritual endeavors? You know what I mean?
Right.
Or and then I don't want to be the it's my way or the highway kind of thing. In between.
Compromise.
We have to present ourselves to who we are. We have to know who we are going into the relationship. And when things come up that we don't like in a relationship, we can be nice, but we have to state we owe it to that other person to let them know what we like and don't like. Yeah. If they don't know, then they'll keep doing it, and we just get aggravated and tense and just tight. Where it would be just so easy to say, I really, it's me. I really don't like that. I really don't. And if we can, and I should have told you sooner. That's on me, which usually it is, because it takes me a long time too. And I need to get sooner. Be brave. It's not the end of the world. And they get to know you. They get to know what you like. So it's really up to us to figure out how we want to say it that makes us feel comfortable, but to still be brave. And we're not good in the bedroom too. A lot of times, men or women, we think that what we want is so risque, or we don't know if we want to bring it up to someone. But if you're really sharing this incredible spiritual existence with someone, and sex is a spiritual thing. It is not just a roll around in the hay. It is highly, it's a focus of the energies of two people into a single desire. That's powerful. That's why they talk about manifestation. A lot of times they say
the sex magic.
The sex magic, and that's been going on for I don't even know how many years.
Centuries, probably.
Centuries. It is centuries. And when you get to that climax, that height, then you both think of what you want to manifest, and it's supposed to come true.
I just do that by myself.
Well, it works, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, it is a sexual experience, and if you are holding back on your end, number one, you're cheating yourself, and you're also cheating the other person, because they don't have a chance to really please you the way you need to feel.
And that's so important.
And then they also are being, and then you feel cheated if you can't do what they need and want, right? So you cheat people out of an experience because you think, oh, well, that's a little risque, or I've never told anybody
or
that.
They might judge me.
Or they might judge me.
And that might happen, but if it does, then they're just not the person for you.
Exactly. And just let them go. If they don't treat you right, then or they don't respect you and who you are in the bedroom and out, then that's not a right relationship.
But if you do it, it's so exhilarating and fun and brings a new fondness and connection to your relationship.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that it follows in. It's a special trust that's built more than anything.
Yeah.
It's a real trust. It brings it to a new level. It's part of the evolution of the relationship. And without it, you're acting, oh my gosh, you know what it brings me back to? in the 1950s and the 40s, I've heard this from my mom, my Nona, my grandmother, and they used to always say, well, you make sure you get up earlier than the guy to put on your makeup. No, I'm serious.
Oh, I know they did, but I would never.
Do you know how? Well, number one, I don't get up early. I mean,
she really don't.
I really don't, and I mean it is really hard. And
I love it. She's the best boss ever.
I do not love getting up early. Anybody who knows me knows that. And am I going to get up earlier than you to get makeup on so that you see me with all my makeup? Wouldn't you find that very funny that I wake up looking like Princess Di or something?
I would think it was weird.
It is strange.
And I've had, like, you know me, I'm not a makeup person.
Right.
You know,
I am. I love to play.
The most that I'll do, but I've never had a man wake up next to me and be like, damn, you're ugly. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't care. Like,
I don't think a man even thinks about that. And a woman, another woman, I definitely wouldn't think of that.
It's like, it's fine if you love makeup and that's your thing, you know, but
right.
Why do you feel that you need to do that to make them like you? Like, that's not, your makeup isn't really like who you are.
No.
So why would you want to be like, oh, let me go put my, it's like putting on a mask.
It's like putting on a mask. Well, it's also, I am not beautiful without my makeup. Right. That's what you're saying to yourself. I am not the perfect woman for my partner, woman or man, or both, whatever. I am not perfect for this other person without my makeup. Now, I wear makeup, but why do I wear makeup? So, we really... Okay, for me, makeup. Let's talk about that. That's important. I love to wear makeup, as I said. Do I do it for anybody else? No. I really don't. I'll go out without a face on, or what they say. But I really love the time where I get my cup of tea and I come up into the bathroom. The dogs all lay around me. The cat lays on the little tub, side of the tub. And then I do my makeup, and it's peaceful. And me, I like to play with colors. I'm not an artist who can draw pictures, but I love playing with colors and techniques and things. And so what do? Every day I do a different thing on my eye. But it's for me. It's for me. I love to go and say, ooh, I just did a perfect line. You know, it's not... If someone else notices it, I say, oh, thank you. But it really doesn't mean anything to me. Yeah. Isn't that weird? It's peaceful. It's just a time to play and in the morning and have my cup of tea. And that...
Self-expression.
Yeah. And then when I sit out, and I love to be on the front porch or the back porch in the morning with my cup of tea, or my second one, and just enjoy that and do my gratitudes. It's all part of my morning being. And then I come out into the world at peace and happy, and that's how I want to be.
I love that.
But anyway, you had a question. What was it?
No, we have a question.
We have a question?
Yes.
Oh, I guess we got to answer it then.
Okay. Is it still brave if I only say what I want after the sex is over? Am I allowed to talk about it post-sex? What if it's awkward? What if he shuts me down? How do I go about navigating this? If he says he isn't into what I like, should I drop him?
Interesting. Okay, this is a good question. All right, it's many parts. First, let's deal with the first part. I would like to talk about, first, should I say it post? You know, say my wants after it. It sounds like a review, guys.
Yeah, it kind of does.
It does. So you know, you did this right, but I really need I think, you know, and plus, when you're in the motion, it is so much fun. I love to discover something new that my partner wants, right? I'm thinking, oh, let's try it, right? I'm really into that. And I love it when I bring something up and I have a partner who says, oh, let's do that, right? That's when you like, that's where the trust comes in.
And you're getting to connect on in something new and different that you guys
and it makes it more like play and more fun.
Yeah.
Instead of this serious thing you're doing for whatever end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or something basic that you've done 1,000 times and you're like, does it get any
boring?
better?
Yeah. Does it get better? Or is this all I can hope for? And a lot of relationships get that way. But no, it's important to try new things. And I think it's important to investigate new things together.
Yeah,
I do.
The more experience that you have in what you like, the happier you're gonna be.
I think so. And so to give a review at the end, which basically you're doing, is a little bit harsh for someone to take. And so see, wouldn't you feel better? I'm asking the person who's asking the question. Wouldn't you feel better if the guy said, hey, would you like to try this? Wouldn't you feel a little more like, okay, yeah, I think that's a great idea. And then you try it versus at the end saying, well, I would have really liked to have done this, but I didn't feel you were open. Oh my God, right?
Yeah, it's like, okay, you're assuming because you didn't even say anything.
Right.
And you know what assuming does.
Yeah. So I would definitely create and you've got to have a partner. First of all, you don't want to have sex with someone unless you love that abandoned sex that you don't know the person and you just want to have sex. That's up to you and that's okay. That's okay. No judgment.
We love hoes here.
No, stop that. And that's the instigate. Don't listen to the instigate. No, really, no judgment. We've all been there. It's all right. However, if you're going to be with the same partner, it's important to vitalize it, and it's important to have this change and learning different things about each other. It is truly a time to play and
be vulnerable with each other.
And be vulnerable. And that's the biggest thing. Why can't we be vulnerable? And that's part of being brave.
With your partner. That's
with your partner.
Thing. And if you can't, then
you're with the wrong person.
Yeah, you should probably re-examine that situation.
You got to realign. Why am I not choosing a person that is right for me, that I feel good and I can play and I can be myself and be vulnerable and I can say the things that I really need in the bedroom and I can say what I don't like out of the bedroom? Why am I choosing someone who I can't do that with?
Right.
And why am I choosing someone that I can't feel comfortable saying, hey, we're not talking for a while. What's wrong? Can I ask what's wrong? And why, you know what I'm saying? Why do we have to go to a divination reader, such as myself sometimes when I'm on lives, and say, does Tommy still like me? Well, why aren't you brave enough to say, hey, Tommy, what's going on? I haven't heard from you. Are you okay? Do you want to just go out and get a coffee or something? Or
I think that people just don't take rejection well. I think that they know that this person might not like them, but they like them so much that they're just convinced that there's something they possibly don't know.
Okay, yeah, I get that. Well, yeah, first of all, you have to feel strong in yourself. And we say that over and over and over, right? You get into relationships and when all your insecurities just come out like crazy, you know, and will he love me or will she love me? You really have to, you've got to look within, you've got to be ready for the relationship, meaning you have to conquer your so-called insecurities about yourself. If you think that you are a bother to people, well, that's going to hurt the relationship. If you think that you need a person, that is definitely going to hurt the relationship because then you become like an octopus, you know, and it's hard. And if you are a person who feels like time is running out, well, that's a good one. All right, then all of a sudden you're going to settle for somebody who is not right for you, who is available and can provide the so-called money thing. And that presents a whole different set of problems. I know a lot of women who feel that time clock going. And so then they say they want to find someone and they want to stay home and have kids and be happy. The time clock is going. You know what I mean? You know, you hit 32, oh my gosh, I gotta have kids, or I wanna have kids. That hit me. I'm talking about myself. I didn't want any kids until 32, and all of a sudden I went, oh my God, I've got it. I want kids all of a sudden. What? I had always been a career person, right? And I was shocked I wanted kids. But I was already married. And so then I was bringing up that. But when you're looking for a man and you only want that, then you're looking for a whole different criteria than somebody who is going to be your partner for life. And you take a lot more crap because you're scared to say anything, because you've got insecurities and you want this so bad, and you just let them run all over you, and do weird things of control over you. You allow those silly things that maybe maybe they, I'm not saying it's a he or she, but they throw out something that you like very much, but they think is not so wonderful. So they think you should dress a different way or better, or you couldn't possibly like those old jeans that you always wear that have all the holes in them. That's me. I like those. But this person may not like it and just throw it out on me. I've had a person do that to me. That is control. And when we do not open up and say, I'm sorry, but I really like those jeans, I want them back. Little things like they tiptoe, they see how much you will take because of your own insecurities and needing them, that you be quiet and you let them take full control over who you are. And before you know it, my dear, you are lost. You don't know who you are. You don't trust your own feelings for who you can be by yourself. All of a sudden, you're asking them to do things that you should be able to do. You're asking them to be there to take care of something because you don't have the confidence to do it. This is how a codependent relationship starts. And it all starts because we are not brave enough. Right. And belief in our own wants and desires to be able to stand up and say in our relationship in the beginning, I really don't like that. Or could you please get my jeans back? I really love those jeans. And set those boundaries that you're not going to be run over.
And I think it's really important to stress that, like, when you are being open and vulnerable with your partner about what your wants and needs are, you have to give them that grace as well.
Exactly.
So if they say something that, like, throws you off or shocks you or vice versa, if you do it to them, just kind of don't react immediately. Just kind of be like, okay, let me process this.
Let it process.
See how I feel about it. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do, and nobody wants you to do that. But it's important that if you're not going to, that you should tell them that.
Tell them when it's not such a big mountain. Yeah. And when you haven't lost yourself and all of a sudden you just want a divorce or leaving the relationship of some sort. Because you can't deal with it anymore. But really, it's been going on since the very beginning. Really, I think you've got to take a look. I always see these things come up on my lives where I'm trying to give advice or I'm trying to help them with something. And they're always saying, is so-and-so going to come back? Is so-and-so going to be with me? Are we going to get married? Am I going to get pregnant? I always ask, have you asked? Are you having sex? Because sometimes they're not. And I'm wondering, why are they even asking? Even the cards don't know, really. Because it's a choice. They're all choices. Yeah. So you can change on a dime. And I try to tell them, if you don't choose that road and you don't have sex, you're probably not going to get pregnant, right? Correct. Unless you do something else. But still, it's really funny how we think we are not in control of ourselves. Isn't that interesting? That everything is, I don't know what we think. We really need to understand that we are the masters of our fate. We are in the driver's seat. So if I want to have this wonderful, amazing relationship, I have to put on my big boots. And
Big girl panties.
I do. And I have to say to myself, okay, am I ready? Am I strong enough? Am I brave enough with myself? Do I like who I am? Because if I don't like who I am, that partner of me, of mine, can never fill that cup.
Right.
And I have to first like who I am and trust my wants and desires and trust my everyday being and what I like and what I don't like. And then when I have that strength and then I meet someone, then you can have fun. Mm-hmm. You don't have all the... If he doesn't leave a text the very next minute or call you, you're not going, I hope he's okay. Oh my God, I hope I didn't lose him.
What did I do wrong?
No, instead you're saying, okay, well, it'll happen when it happens. And you get this... That... Nothing is better in a relationship than being in a relationship with a secure person. It is so much fun. It really is. Because you just... You play. You freaking play. Yeah. And you just, everything's on the table. You can talk about everything. You can be, it is.
Exactly who you are, authentically. I think our cowardness overrides our bravery.
Yeah. And that's why then you got to put your big girl bootsies on or your big boy bootsies on. Mm-hmm. You got to put on those boots. And you got to say...
Get to walking.
And get to walking. And the first walk you do is with yourself. Because if you have nothing to give and you're all filled with insecurities, just imagine who you're going to get.
Tell them what you want.
And just tell them. Tell them what you want. But first you got to know. You got to know. And you don't have to be hard. And you don't have to go in like a bull in a china shop. You just have to go in and say... Yeah. You know, and for this person who asked the question, yeah, do it playful, have fun, tell them what you want in the sex. First of all, get over the awkward timing idea. Anytime you're ready to talk is the good time to talk. I mean, okay, if you're at a massive dinner party, that is the time to talk.
Yeah.
And you can just...
I discuss it before I get into a serious relationship with someone. It's like one of the first things that I talk about.
What?
Because
what do you talk about?
The things that I like in the bedroom. Because if you don't like those things...
About the bedroom.
Well, yeah. I mean, really with anything. But even with that more so. Because she's saying it feels awkward. Should I wait until after we have sex? You know?
Oh, so she's talking about the bedroom.
Correct. So, all I'm saying is like, why wouldn't you want to know that before you want to do that? Like maybe not the super kinky stuff, but like definitely the things that I absolutely need for my partner. Like
I'm thinking about it.
Adjustable.
I've never found that everything seems to happen. I don't know. The first thing I want to know is if I trust that person when I'm first dating, and that's why we go through a few dates. I'm not gonna go jumping into this act.
That's not what we're saying.
I know that.
I'm saying like when you're in a new relationship and you're talking to someone.
So when you're
you're getting to know them, it's important to me to say, hey, I'm into this, I'm not into this.
Well, and I kind of wait for clues in that first part of the relationship because you're going to be testing the waters. You're not actually doing anything, but you're testing the waters. And that's where you need to be brave and say, well, I'm not... That doesn't really turn me on, but this does, and right, I love
but
it.
I don't want to get into the bedroom and it happen. Like I would rather just know what they like and what they don't like.
Okay. I kind of like the exploration in a weird way. And I
do not, because if you get in the bedroom and you smack me across the face, we're going to be fine.
Well, you're not going to do that because we didn't do. There was no hint of that in those 3 days.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, I don't know. I've never had, but I'll tell you. And if somebody crosses a severe boundary with you, you have every right to say, hey, what in the heck? stop, right? Don't allow it. If it is something that is really not good with you, that's where you do put those big girl or big boy panties on or boots on and say, no, this is not what I want. That's where all the strength in you comes. It's the person who says, oh, well, they like this. Maybe I have to bend to it. No, you do not.
Yeah, correct.
And that's where you say, I'm not into this. I'm so sorry. Let's stop. Well, or you don't even have to say sorry. Just say, I'm not into this. This is not my bag. If this is your bag, we're going to have a problem. You can say it that way.
And in my experience, now recently in this dating online crap, men will be honest. They will be honest and tell you, hey, I'm looking for this, this, and this, X, Y, and Z.
Really?
And yeah, I haven't
had that yet.
I've had a lot of, I'm into BDSM, and that's fine. I'm not yucking anybody's yum. It's just not for me. And
she's so funny. I don't even know what a yum is.
It's just an expression about their kinks.
Oh.
Like, I don't want anybody to think I'm trying to kink shame them. I'm not. I'm just saying that BDSM is not for me. And there's a lot of guys now that lead with that, and that's what they want in their relationship.
Okay, without being
like bondage. Graphic.
Oh, they're into
submissive.
That. Yeah, if you're not into that, you've got to stand up and say, I'm not into that.
But you are into some aspects of that we've talked about. I'm not going to repeat. But that's the thing. That's why you have to be open. Because these guys will be like, I'm into this. Sometimes they won't tell you. And you get in the bedroom and they treat you like...
Yeah,
you know,
you have to know me. That's why I like really quite a few little dates before I start usually, because I want to feel them, and we're all empaths to a certain level. You know your intuition. You know how that guy treats you when you're just cuddling or when you are talking. Yeah. Where they're gonna go. You just know, and
sometimes.
Most of the time, I haven't really
been wrong. A lot.
I haven't had a problem with that. Most of the time, I know, but it's what But I am very diligent in feeling that out because I don't want a problem, right? And I live alone. I don't want somebody I can't trust or who goes absolutely batshit crazy. Sorry. I edited myself on that. You know,
she's instigator today.
I do not want that to happen. That's where I have to put my big girl booties on and say, hey, no. I have to feel secure in myself to say, that's not my ball game. That's way over what I want. And you have to say that. But it starts in everything you are. You know, it's everything. You've got to be your own person. You are not going into a relationship for someone to take over you. And really, when we say we want to be taken care of, there's always a price.
Yeah.
And being taken care of, why can't you take care of each other?
Mm-hmm. That's
what it's really about. No one is taking care of me. I am also taking care of them. And you're a partner. It is not a hierarchy. And I don't know where we got that in our head, because when we built that so-called hierarchy, that's when we disempowered people to think this was a privilege to get this person who's going to take care of me. Right. And we haven't beaten that down yet. It is not the truth. What we are looking for is someone who aligns with us in every respect, that we actually feel so cool when we're with them.
It's acceptance.
And it's acceptance, and it's incredible trust that just keeps growing. And that has to start with you. First being secure in yourself, and then being brave to bring that forward in the relationship and speaking up for who you are in the relationship. And it can be as nice. Sometimes you don't even have to speak. It's who you are. And that shines brightly when you're secure. And that person who you're with will love that, because now they know they have someone to depend on. And the person who doesn't love that, it's because they really wanted to have control.
Yeah.
And that is not what you need in a relationship, unless that's what you're really into. I know people really love that. If you're into that, and then okay, discount everything I said. You want to do the reverse. But really, for a real spiritual connection in our lives, we don't look for that. We look for I don't know. I don't know what people look for. I think that spiritual connection is so important. And it's funny, you'll meet a soulmate, and that soulmate is sometimes on a different journey, and I tell you, that's a hard thing, because that journey, you want to be together, but they have so many lessons to learn. That is where you have to be strong in yourself, because you can get lost in their lessons, right? That's a whole nother question that we got to talk about on some time, right? Yeah, I know, you're smiling. Yeah, right. So you have to go through, you have to be strong for them and understanding if you want to deal with that relationship. Yeah. If you're in love with that soul, then you help them. But it doesn't mean you succumb to their insecurities. Do you understand? That's a whole nother topic. We got to talk about that, because I know there are other people out there that do that. Well, anyway.
I hope that helps.
It does.
I hope you get the courage and the bravery to just tell them.
Guys, I think if you are really not insecure in yourself, then you need to contact and come to a workshop I'm doing on what? May 31st. May 31st. It's a day long. It'll get you introduced to your beautiful divine self. And see the power, the wisdom, and the inner knowing you have. And you know you have, but you believe in it now. And you become strong in it. And there is nothing more attractive than a woman who knows who she is and loves who she is. And a man, same thing. I don't know why I keep saying a woman. Most of my clients are
We're
women.
Talking about all
men
of you.
too. Men who don't need to control, don't need to need someone, but to really shine the gifts you have. That is very sexy to me, anyway.
Yeah.
All right. We love you all.
Yes, we do.
This life is a journey, and really it's growth into knowing who we are and forming incredible relationships. But we have to have that relationship with ourselves first. I love you. Namaste.
Bye.